Good day, everyone. I am John Reynal Sayon, and I will discuss to you the introduction about toxic and hazardous waste treatment. First, let us define hazardous waste and toxic waste. Not all hazardous waste are toxic waste, but all toxic waste are hazardous waste. Hazardous waste are solid waste which possess a potential or substantial threat to public health and environment and fulfills at least one of these properties: ignitable, corrosiveness, reactivity, and toxicity. Examples are batteries, adhesive, varnish, and paints. Toxic waste are chemical waste which, if inhaled, swallowed, or absorbed in the skin, are capable of causing injuries and death. Common examples are heavy metals, industrial chemicals, herbicides, and pesticides. Importance of proper treatment. Proper treatment is needed for hazardous and toxic waste to mitigate the harm it causes to the environment. Improper treatment and disposal of this kind of waste can pollute water sources, poison wildlife, and create toxic sites which can affect the habitability of the area. Types of toxic and hazardous waste. First, ignitable waste are waste that easily combust or set alight, like solvents, gasoline, diesel fuel, and aerosol cans. Second, corrosive waste are waste that can corrode materials such as strong acids, cleaning products, strong bases, and rust and metal cleaners. Third, reactive waste are waste that are unstable and can react with the environment to become either explosive or capable of producing toxic fumes, which are perchlorate, peroxides, metal powders, and water reactive chemicals. Lastly, toxic waste are waste that contain harmful hazardous constituents such as volatile compounds, herbicides, or semi-volatile organic compounds. And now, I will pass you to Mr. Pital Curin to continue this report.
Let us go on to the regulatory framework. Regulations provide the legal framework for managing hazardous waste, and these laws outline requirements for waste generation, transportation, treatment, and disposal, with the overall goal of protecting human health and the environment. So, here are some of the relevant regulations in our country and the other parts of the globe. First, we have the Republic Act 6969, or the Toxic Substances and Hazardous and Nuclear Wastes Control Act of 1990. And this program of the DNR-EMB covers the sound and prompt management of industrial chemicals and hazardous waste in all aspects of its life cycle. So, from importation, manufacture, distribution, transportation, use, and disposal. Now, the second relevant regulation is the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, or the RCRA. Now, this is a U.S. federal law that provides a framework for the proper management of hazardous and non-hazardous solid waste. It covers waste generation, transportation, treatment, and disposal. Third is the comprehensive environmental response, compensation, and liability. It is also known as the Superfund. Now, this law allows the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, to clean up contaminated sites and hold responsible parties accountable for the contamination. Now, the fourth and last is the control of substances hazardous to health regulations. Now, this is a UK law that mandates control measures to protect employees from hazardous substances. It covers storage, handling, and disposal of hazardous materials. Now, let's talk about what it takes for waste treatment facilities to stay compliant. We have three general requirements for waste treatment facilities. First is treatment. Waste treatment methods must align with specific regulations based on the type of hazardous waste. Pre-treatment is often required to reduce hazardous properties. Second is storage. Storage facilities must have proper containment measure and follow safety procedures for hazardous waste storage. Regular inspections and maintenance are necessary. Third is disposal. Disposal of hazardous waste must adhere to detailed regulations. Licensed waste carriers should be employed for transportation and disposal, and consignment notes must be maintained. So, from proper treatment methods to safe storage and disposal practices, Facilities must adhere to stringent compliance requirements. Regular inspections and audits ensure that these standards are met, with government agencies like the EPA and Environmental Agency playing a vital role in enforcement. Now, we already have the regulations and compliance requirements for waste treatment facilities. Now, the question is, who will ensure that these regulations and standards are followed strictly by the facilities? Well, that's where the role and responsibilities of the government comes in. Government agencies are the enforcers of environmental regulations. They conduct inspections, ensure compliance, and have the authority to impose penalties for non-compliance, including fines and imprisonment. Always remember, compliance with hazardous waste regulations is crucial to avoid penalties and ensure the safety of both human and environmental health. Now, let us shift our focus to the various methods of hazardous waste treatment. So, from physical and chemical processes to biological and thermal treatments, each method offers unique advantages for managing hazardous waste effectively. Now, let's go on to our first methods of hazardous waste treatment. We have the physical treatment. Now, physical treatment involves the separation of hazardous and non-hazardous materials through physical processes. By isolating hazardous components, we can mitigate risks and facilitate proper disposal or recycling. As you can see in the figure presented, physical treatment can be done in three different ways, which are first, gas cleaning, second, liquid solid separation, and third, removal of specific components. Now let us proceed to the next method, which is chemical treatment. Chemical treatment is another approach to reducing the hazardous nature of waste. By using specific chemicals, we can neutralize or transform hazardous compounds into less harmful substances, often recovering valuable byproducts in the process. So here are the methods involved in chemical treatment. First, we have absorption. Next is chemical oxidation. Next is chemical precipitation, chemical reduction, wet oxidation, ion exchange, neutralization, chemical fixation and solidification, and lastly, dehalogenation. The third toxic and hazardous waste treatment is biological treatment. Now, biological treatment harnesses the power of enzymes or microorganisms to break down organic waste. This eco-friendly approach is particularly effective for organic pollutants, offering a sustainable solution to waste management. And this treatment processes can include anaerobic system, activated sludge, spray irrigation, taking filters, waste stabilization ponds, and lastly, rotating bioconductors. And we are now in the last, but definitely not the least, toxic and hazardous waste treatment method, which is the thermal treatment. Now, thermal treatment involves subjecting waste to high temperatures to incinerate organic matter and convert hazardous compounds into inert materials. While controversial due to emissions concerns, modern incineration technologies offer efficient and environmentally sound solutions for certain types of hazardous waste. In addition, the organic compounds present in the mixture are converted into non-toxic gases and can be discharged into the environment safely, while the remaining inorganic residue can be landfilled. Also, the heat released by the burning of organic materials is utilized as fuel, which makes this process economically favorable. So, here are our references, and that would be the end of our presentation. But before I end this presentation, I hope that this presentation has provided valuable insights into the regulatory landscape and treatment methods for hazardous waste. By working together to ensure compliance and adapt best practices in waste management, we can safeguard our communities and ecosystems for generations to come. Thank you and have a good day.